Hello, here I am with another tech tip. This is from my series AI as my new TA, and today I'm talking about the capabilities of ChatGPT. Before I get started, I want to remind you of two things. Number one, AI will not replace us. Despite the credit recovery programs that let students make up a semester of work in a week and a half, our jobs as professionals are secure. Distance learning in COVID days are evidence enough that adolescents are better taught by a person standing in front of them. And also, AI is not cheating. Is it cheating for a student to ask AI to write an essay for them? Yes. Is it cheating for teachers to ask AI to do work for them? No. And it's not hypocrisy either. The difference is that we're professionals who have already done this work by hand 100 times. For us, it's not a cheat, it's a tool. Okay, so why use ChatGPT? I'm going to list off some reasons why here, and the main reason is speed and efficiency. It's what it's best at for us, and specifically idea generation. It will help us come up with ideas and replace that that mental effort of having to come up with ideas for the classroom. It will help come up with quizzes, either based on a text you provide or even without providing a text. Assignments, activities, and extension exercises to accompany your lesson plans. It will help you come up with a list of discussion prompts around a topic. Bell ringers and warm-ups. Scaffolding and extensions. ChatGPT will lower the lexile or the complexity level of a text for students having difficulty understanding, and it will also raise the level to a more complicated level of text as an extension, but then also in assignments. It will help create assignments that are more difficult or easier for a given assignment or given topic. It will help come up with icebreakers and warm-ups. If you have a writing assignment, and it's always good to provide exemplars to students, but maybe you don't want to provide an exemplar about the exact topic because you're afraid it will influence the students or they may just straight copy off of it. So you can come up with a parallel topic and offer a good and a bad example of how to do it. This one's a little bit controversial, but it can provide feedback on student writing. You could put a piece of student writing into ChatGPT and ask with a pre-prepared prompt to evaluate it on certain criteria based on a rubric or based on grammatic rules or what have you, and it will give the type of feedback that you would give. Of course, you would go back in and read the feedback to make sure it's right on, and then add your own commentary. But it will do a lot of that work for you that you would have done anyway. You can create or update your syllabi. Based on trends. Maybe you want to model it after a college syllabus or whatever. It will go in and find examples and help you create or update. It will create rubrics based on the criteria that you give it. It will summarize assessment data or performance trends if you give it that data. It will find resources or articles for class or professional development. It will also summarize and organize those same texts. It's also good for professional improvement. It will suggest refinements for existing teaching materials. Sometimes at the beginning of a unit, I will describe to ChatGPT all of the details of the unit itself, but without giving it any of the specifics, and ask it to design a unit based on how I am teaching the unit, and it will undoubtedly give me lots of new ideas and approaches I hadn't considered before. I don't have to use those things, but oftentimes it's like a second pair of eyes with an authoritative voice suggesting improvements. It can help with lesson plans or even creating like the hard copies of the lesson plans. If you like that, like from your ed days, to see the lesson plan in front of you with all of your goals, then it will help you do that and automate that task. It will create scaffolding extensions. I think that's a repeat. And it will also give you instant feedback on your writing and, crucially, your student instructions. If you often have students say, I don't understand what you want me to do, when they point at the instructions you just wrote out for them, ChatGPT will refine those instructions and will also improve your writing as like a copy editor. You can do personal assistant tasks for you. It would draft a staff email based on the content you wanted in it. It would write letters or newsletters to parents. Once again, not generic ones, but ones based on your prompt that you give it. And this one's a little bit crazy. It would write letters of recommendation to students. So if I were to do this, I would describe the student in the prompt. All of the attributes of the student that I thought were admirable, related to academics and outside of academics, and it would draft the letter, which is what takes up a lot of the time. draft meeting agendas, and find resources, articles, text. That's a repeat too. How did I do that? And then summarize. Okay. And then also, this is a repeat. Sorry. Oh yeah, but it would draft grant proposals if that's the type of thing you like to do. Okay, some real world applications. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 examples of how I've used ChatGPT outside of what I've just mentioned. This is inside. So reimagine existing curriculum. Here is a prompt that I came up. You can pause the video if you're interested. Where I described a small unit, a 2-week unit that I do in class, and I gave it the parameters of the unit and asked what it thought about it. And it came up with a daily agenda of how to proceed with the unit and how I would break it down and activities that go with it. And it was pretty impressive. Here's some multiple choice questions it came up with. And I know this unit pretty well, and the multiple choice questions work. Approaching a PLC cycle. In my most recent PLC cycle, we were talking about using speaking and listening standards because we've been scoring low across the district. So I asked, what are some ways I could teach and assess these standards? And it went crazy. It gave all sorts of different ways to teach and assess speaking and listening standards in the classroom. And you can even be as granular as putting the specific Common Core standards right into ChatGPT, and it will use the language of the standards. Structuring a campus club. This year for Creative Writing Club, I just asked it to, pretended I was starting from scratch and asked it to describe all of the parts of the club as if it were brand new, just to like give new ideas. But then I went back in and I refined it. And I said for each week in the above plan, have a section with a bullet pointed list of information relevant to each week's focus. Then I followed it up again and asked about some of the activities and asked for a description using 2 sentences. And then I followed it up again asking about field trips in different areas. And it did. It came back with a focus and a prompt for every single week. And then lastly, I said describe 10 fun icebreaker activities for a high school classroom, which uses the results of a personal interest survey, which is what I do on the first day. And it came back with, I don't know, 12 or, it came back with 10 activities. Anyway, there's lots you could do. This is obviously just scratching the surface of what you could do with ChatGPT. It is great, and I'll talk about other AI platforms a different day.